Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're coming from and the time of day. Hopefully one of those is applicable. As always, thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Henning, your host. And today I'm joined by Scott Sodergren, the Commercial and Fleet Sales Manager at Hamilton Chevrolet. Scott, thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. This one's going to be a little bit different than maybe some of our other podcasts. What we're really doing here is more of what we like to refer to as a profile, and pro, like a truck pro or commercial vehicle pro. So we're a little more interested in kind of your background, and that's kind of the path we'll go here. So maybe if you could just start with telling us a little bit about yourself, history, education, something like that, and then we'll take it from there and talk more about what you do and how you got into the commercial space specifically, if that's okay.
Sure. Married with 3 children. I have a 18-year-old away at college, and I have a 17-year-old senior and a 14-year-old freshman. I got into the car business years ago. I would say around the mid 90s, 95, 94, right in that area. I got my start in Albuquerque, New Mexico, working for a dealership called Reliable Chevrolet, and that was my first sales job. And I remember the guy that hired me told me that he didn't think I was going to make it, but he was going to give me a shot at it. So, yeah, that was. I was waiting tables at the time, and all my buddies were selling cars, and I was pretty young. I would say I was 19 or 20. And I've been selling cars ever since. Moved to Michigan in 96, and I've been at Hamilton Chevrolet just about ever since. And I've been selling Chevrolets for almost 30 years now.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I guess for starters, maybe thanks for the vote of confidence from the guy that hired you initially. I'm not sure that was the best thing for him to say. Maybe he was challenging you. I'm not sure.
Never forget that one.
Yeah, I bet not. Well, clearly you've done well, and it seems like, many people in this space, it gets in your blood, and once it's there, you don't leave the car business for sure.
Yeah.
So a little curious, when you started, I'm assuming that it was more on the retail side versus the commercial side. Is that correct?
It was. It was in the new car department. This dealership had a new car department, and it had a truck center. And then they also had a Mitsubishi dealer across the street and a used car center. And I quickly learned that I would rather be selling trucks than cars. So I moved over to the truck center pretty quick, and just been selling trucks ever since, to be honest.
Okay.
Would much rather sell a truck than a car. They're more fun, and they're a lot more of a vehicle that I enjoy selling over the cars. So.
That makes sense. Different customer base too, I suppose. Yes.
Yeah. A little more down to earth. Maybe not so technical. People that my type of person that I get along with, a bonfire and cowboy boots and Wrangler jeans, and the typical truck guy that's driving a truck. So.
Yep. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, appreciate the history. That's interesting, and clearly you've been doing it a little while, so you must be pretty darn successful at it. So that's fantastic. Love to hear that.
Just been at it for a long time. Just been doing it for a long time. So just build up a clientele after a while, and it makes it that much harder to actually leave or go do something else when you've got regular customers that come see you on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I imagine those customers start to depend on you too when they're looking for, hey, I need a new vehicle for my business. Scott's my guy. I need a little help. If you're suddenly not there, that might throw them for a bit of a loop.
Yeah. And our dealership also owns a RV dealership.
Oh, okay.
So you can probably see in the background a couple RVs. So I actually sell a lot of truck and trailers as well. So that comes into play with, when they're towing different vehicles and stuff, towing different RVs and toy houses and stuff. So that's fun too.
Yeah, I'll bet. And that's a whole nother animal too, I would imagine.
Yep. Yep. Never a dull moment in my day to day. That's for sure.
I don't know about you, but I much prefer that versus the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it makes the day go by quick too.
You bet. You bet. Okay. So maybe let's touch on technology just for a minute. From a technology perspective, are there certain tools that you've come to rely on, with either how you interact with your customers, how you find vehicles for them, et cetera? And has that changed in particular? Has that changed from, 2-3 years ago? Obviously, COVID and so forth, the world was a bit upside down and things were very different than they probably are today from what I've heard most of the people I've spoken with. Is that true for you as well?
Well, when I think about technology, I work for two dealerships in one, and I have 2 phone numbers, for each dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the 800 numbers from advertising on Commercial Truck Trader, and then there's the 800 number from advertising on Convoy. So I have quite a bit going on. So I just decided just to forward everything to my cell phone.
Okay.
So everything, no matter what phone number they're calling, it's going to one phone, and that makes it easier for me to organize all of that.
Sure.
With my email, I have, Outlook that I use with my email, and I have several emails that come into the same email, and just to kind of keep that normal. And I like Commercial Truck Trader, and I like Convoy for as far as advertising and marketing goes. They do a lot of different things. We do texting, and we do newsletters, along with advertising on your social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that is helpful as well. And it's just using the typical drives and computer and my phone. Those are the biggest technology things I would say that I'm working with right now. I need to be working with other things like LinkedIn and some other things, and trying to get there. It's a process.
Definitely a process. It's interesting though. Most everything you just talked about all have to do with how you communicate with your customers.
Yes.
Which, really, I think that's job one. It's certainly the primary thing. If they're inquiring, if it's phone call, an email, social media, whatever, as you said, you got to make sure you stay in contact with them and are responsive. At least that's been my experience. Would you agree with that?
Yep. Those are my goals, is to be able to respond to a customer as quick as possible and give them information as quick as possible, and keep in touch with them, or at least let them know that I'm working on their stuff for them, and that they'll be having stuff come across. And I just find it easier just to have it one place. Everything goes to my cell phone. So I'm one of those guys that's on his phone all day long, but it's better than trying to pick up voicemails and pick up everything. So
absolutely agree with that. You bet. Okay. Well, that gives us good insight. And like I say, to me, it sounds like it's all about communicating with your customers first and foremost, which one of the things I really like about the commercial space specifically, it's building the relationship and having those lines of communication open. So love to hear that.
Relationships in fleet and commercial business.
Yeah.
You're not just selling them one, you want to sell them 100, and
right.
You have that relationship with them in order to do that. So
yep.
With that.
Okay, good. Well, sounds like we're kind of on the same page, and I don't think that's terribly surprising. So let's switch gears just a little here, and maybe, personally, what are some of the things you enjoy doing outside of having the phone connected to your ear all day long and talking to your customers? But what kind of hobbies, or what other things do you like to do?
Well, I actually have a website. I actually sell whiskey and wine barrel furniture on it.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm into the marketing pretty deep with the Google ads, and I kind of keep an eye on that. And I do a lot of video ads. I do a lot of descriptions and titles, and I work through like all the different keywords that are best for sales and everything, which actually helps me with on the car side as well when I'm having the meetings with Commercial Truck Trader and our website provider and everything. But it's long story short, it's made by the Amish in Ohio.
Okay.
Jack Daniel's whiskey barrels, and they actually take the whiskey barrels and repurpose it, refinish it into furniture. So I sell bar stools and tables and counter top tables and kitchen tables and all kinds of different stuff made out of whiskey barrels.
Well, that sounds really cool. And I think you a little bit tongue in cheek a few minutes ago said, well, I need to do some other stuff from a technology perspective, but what you just described sounds like you've got it pretty well nailed. You're talking about keywords and so forth. A lot of people are not that advanced. So I'd say you're well ahead of the game there.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to be able to read those reports from Google and be able to see where, like right now, video is huge. So I'm trying to do more walk arounds on commercial trucks whenever I can, taking pictures of them and trying to upload my own videos. And then I kind of kidnapped our YouTube page, Hamilton Chevrolet's YouTube page. So I'm uploading all my videos on there and trying to post them and trying to do those marketing things to, for that awareness, because, I mean, I'll deliver, 500 to 700 miles from here, which is all eastern seaboard, getting into Nebraska, Colorado, Texas. I mean, I'll go pretty far to deliver a car. Just last month, I delivered a car to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So
pretty good reach.
Yeah. So the more that I can get in front of people with the marketing is, with the videos and the pictures and the advertising, the better, I feel, especially right now with the way things are right now.
Oh, absolutely agree. Yeah. I'll reiterate, you seem to be indicating that maybe you weren't quite where you wanted to be from a technology perspective, but what you're describing, I think you're on it.
Every day, learn every day, right? 1% better every day. So
yes, sir.
Always trying to learn more and more every day. So
you bet. Well, that's great. So if somebody were to look you up from a furniture and so forth perspective, what's the best way to find that? We might as well plug that while we're here.
Oh, if they just search for whiskey barrel furniture, I usually come up. But I got quite a long website, but it's first choice furniture direct. So on ST choice furniture direct. So that was one of the mistakes I made when I started that website. I tried something a little shorter, like Temu or Amazon or eBay. I wasn't smart, but I just stuck with it. So it's just a little hobby on the side. Don't do a lot, I probably sell 5 to 10 pieces a month. It's expensive furniture, but beautiful furniture, but it keeps me busy at night. So other than
like a fun hobby
stuff.
Yeah. Sounds like a cool hobby. I like it.
Yeah. It's something different. It's not something you can just walk in a Walmart and buy.
Right.
So it's made in the USA, and I'm all about that. And I think it's pretty cool. So I've toured their factory, and it's actually pretty cool. They have a big 454 Ford diesel engine in the back room, and that's what they use to power everything. That powers their saws or lights.
Wow.
Anything, yeah. So they have no power at the factory that they make the furniture. The furniture is just beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Oh, I can only imagine. I'm gonna have to go check it out. I'll go look you up when we finish here today.
It's pretty cool. So
it sounds very cool. Well, Scott, thanks for spending a few minutes with us, just sharing a little bit about your background in the automotive space and also the furniture. Really interesting stuff. We always like to get different perspective and hear a little bit about the people that are in the business. So thanks for spending a few minutes with us. We really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure.
All right.